Hey, my people, check with me. Look, I got one. I've been thinking about going back, to the beginning. I started uh, one of my first uh, shows or episodes was about my first time in county jail, and that led to some other stuff. So we're gonna go from there, cause you know. So this is San Diego County Jail. This is old county jail. For most people that don't know, there was an older county jail, and that place, it was horrible. It was like a dungeon. You literally had to drive underground to get into the sally port to go into the foam tanks, and the first holding tanks you go into when you first get there. And in there, that's where it gets ugly sometimes. So okay, let me see. So this was about 1991. All right, so I was in there for armed robbery. I robbed a drug dealer. What? Yeah, drug dealer came to court and said I stole the drugs he was selling out his house. How do you do that? But that's the get down. So I know people like, that ain't true. He didn't go to jail for that. Oh yeah, well, it's on record. And it was a whole bunch of twists. But at the time I was young, I didn't know nothing. I was a kid. And then, what I'm saying, they put me up in the boxing ring with like Mike Tyson. I'm not a lawyer. These guys been to school and been studying the law and all this, and they use the law to beat me upside the head because the law got trampled on several times later on. I learned, but what I'm saying, it's too late to go back now. You know what I'm saying? The time is done. You know what I mean? Ain't no going back and changing. The things that happened to me, the things that I went through, made me who I am now. So, what I mean? Was it all meant to be? Maybe. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? It's his plan. I leave it up to him and let him do his thing. I do my part. Everybody has a part. Are you doing your part? Because I'm trying to stand tall. I'm trying. It's not easy sometimes. It's not easy. A lot of times I want to not stand tall, but I got I got priorities. I got people in my life. I got a family to think about. My family is my number one priority. And anybody, mess with that, then we're gonna have a problem. But you know what I'm saying? Other than that, I'm a happy camper. I'm living my best life. I'm out here, working and, living. So the dope man came to court and said I stole the dope he was selling out his house. So that made it and it was at gunpoint. So that made it an armed robbery, which is a penal code 211 armed robbery. And I already told the story in the previous about what happened my first day in county jail. But the short story is, some guy told me he was gonna make me his bitch, and didn't work out that way. He ended up leaving, getting stitched up, and no bitch was found. Sorry, but try again. You never know. Uh, I don't remember how the fight went. I was scared. I was young. You know, I had a chip on my shoulder. I had something to prove. When they opened up the gate and put me up in there, I just started swinging. I don't know how it went down, but all I know is he had 6 stitches over one eye, 4 stitches under the other eye, and a broken nose. All of them were bleeding, you know. But hey, he wasn't the only one. I got, I got messed up too. You know what I mean? I had to go get surgery. I broke my hand. You know, there it is. Oh, but so yeah, they ended up putting the pin. I don't know if you can see back of my hand right here. They had to put a pin in, do surgery, and fix the bones inside. So they put two metal pins into one bone and put them into the other bone to hold it in place. so it could heal for six weeks. Then it was crazy to me. I'm like, you ain't gonna give me nothing? It's like, no, we just gonna, and they just, what I'm saying, grab it with pliers and pull that shit out of my bone. Literally, what I mean, with some surgical pliers. What the fuck? And it tingled. It was weird. It was a real weird feeling, but what I mean? They just literally pulled two pieces of metal that were stuck in my hand and pulled them out, and they were stuck, drilled through or put through the bones. It's crazy. But so in there, the story, uh, the doctor cut the nerve in my hand. The guy in the medical tank, he told me, "Yeah, man, you're gonna have this surgery. They're gonna do this. And they're gonna do that. When they do this, tell them this, and they'll give you more dope." So me being a big dummy, hey, so hey, doc, I feel that. So I scared the doctor while he had the scalpel in my hand. He cut a nerve in my hand. It was lucky because now I don't have no feeling in part of my hand, my fist. So, I guess that was a benefit in a way because, I could hit you as hard as I wanted with it and it ain't gonna bother me. So, anyway, now I got a broke hand from the scuffle. So I got put into the medical tank and I ran into my big homie. He laced me up. He was a good dude, rest in peace. Uh, uh, and he told me not to count on nobody. When it's crunch time, don't expect nobody to be there. When people tell you they got your back, don't count on it. Because if you count on them, you'll be laying in a puddle of blood waiting on them. And always get off first. Don't wait. He told me I couldn't trust anybody. So that was, a young kid, first time in county jail, up in there with your big homie, you know what I'm saying? And he told me, man, look, right now, you safe. You good. You in this tank, you know what I mean? You got people here, make sure you gonna be all right. And I guarantee that. But after you leave here, you know what I mean? I don't know who you're gonna be with, I don't know where you're gonna be. I don't know what the situation is gonna be, but you better be on your toes. Because when it's crunch time, that's when you find out who your real homies are. So, anyway, the thing that I took was really, get off first. Because a lot of times when I was coming up, I was coming up fighting my homeboys. My homeboys picked on me. My homeboys gave me the blues. But my homeboys made me who I am. My homeboys put me through shit that, what I'm saying, most motherfuckers wouldn't have continued. Most, what I mean? It's not something people would have wanted. It's not something people wanted to do. And at the time, I didn't want to do it. But that was home. That's where I wanted to be. That's all. All I wanted was a name and a reputation. And I wanted the people, what I'm saying? Oh, yeah, that, what I'm saying? Yeah, you know. And that's it. And at the time, that was all that mattered. And I know it's hard for other people to understand. I don't know how other people, what I'm saying, grew up. But I didn't grow up in the TV world. And I say that like, what I'm saying, what's that show, The Cable Guy? How the dude grew up watching other people's families on TV, thinking that's the way, that's the American way, right? That's the American way. That's what we see on TV. That's what it's supposed to be, right? Nah, because Cosby's wasn't in my neighborhood. We didn't, what I mean, we didn't have, what I'm saying, it wasn't, I don't know, what I mean? I don't know how a lot of people, because there's people that grew up in my neighborhood that did all the eight is enough family, I'm saying, I'm saying, the grew up and had a normal life. I just wasn't one of them, and everybody goes through different things. I got raised by the streets. I got raised in the hood. I got raised, by dope fiends. I got raised by, I'm saying, cutthroats. I got raised by pimps, hustlers. I got, you know what I mean? And I think that is part of what made me who I am. And a lot of people still don't know who I am because there's a lot more than people see. Because people look at me and they see one thing, but they don't know. You know what I mean? You look at me, look at this. What do you see? Well, let me shave this off, put a tie on. The problem is, you know what I'm saying, when I open my mouth, you know, them people, you know what I'm saying, once you hear the get down, it's like, whoa, it's something different. Where you from? Oh, I'm from the South, Southeast San Diego. It's, I don't know, you know what I mean? I've had people tell me that I have a southern accent and I'm born and raised in San Diego, California. Never, what I'm saying, really went anywhere. So that's the thing. I want to travel. I want to get around. I want to see the country. And what I'm saying, that's gonna take something. So y'all better start liking something or some subscribing to something. You know what I'm saying? Getting on something or you gonna get something. How about that? Okay, too far back? Did I go away? All right, I'm back. Nah, so um, another thing that, what I'm saying, that was real serious that the homie told me, he was like, man, what I'm saying, if you go to the pen, the white boy's gonna kill you. And he looked me dead in the eye and told me that. And what I'm saying, I didn't know what I was supposed to say or how I was supposed to react. You know what I mean? I just stared at him. And okay, what I'm supposed to do? Roll over? Quit? Give up? Stop? Nah. Can't stop. Won't stop. This neighborhood. Ask somebody. Anyway, I'm an old man. You know. So look here. Let me get a like. Let me get a subscribe, and share this with somebody. We moving on. Y'all moving with me? Come on, you gotta stand tall. Who's ready? Y'all ain't ready. Holla at me. I ain't going nowhere.